that's hungry and eager. My brother's keeper, I'm loyal, it's all in my demeanor. A true believer, I believe when they didn't believe her. That's why I don't let opinions affect me. I do what I want to do. If they do or they don't accept me, they expect me to give up. I almost did. Things went from moving faster, slow motion. I was losing focus, stuck on that. It was smooth on.
All right, much appreciated, Coach, as we welcome all of you to our exclusive coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Houston Texans and the Austin Armadillos. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the first carry for Kenyon Drake. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup. Last week, of course, the great performance, over 200 yards. He still wants to be fed.
And they should. That's exactly what you should do. I have not yet met a running back that's run for over 200 yards that says the very next week, hey, let's back things up.
I don't need it as much.
No, they want it more and more. They're going to be ready to go because they think that's going to happen naturally now.
He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's second down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
Detroit!
He'll look to throw. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains. And early on, they're picking up right where they left off last week.
And I know a lot of coaches say each game is its own. You don't really have carryover. This feels like carryover. So much confidence from the previous game that they're using to their advantage now.
Now a first carry for Giovanni Bernard. And he's able to get this one down to about the 40. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Bernard churning, and he lost the football. And the Texans say they have it. They do. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Following the fumble recovery, Watson. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. And nearly picked off there. Almost intercepted. Instead, second down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Boston Scott, his first carry. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. Gun, Watson. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
And third down is a key down in any game you play. And third down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
The Texans send the punter out as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Now this offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. They got across the 50 last time but fumbled and turned it over, so they'll be looking to have a short-term memory here, Mr. Davis.
Not only a short-term memory, but a whole lot better ball security. Because if they take care of the ball, continue to move it, their chances of scoring some points, they've got to feel pretty good about. They thought they had things moving in the right direction last time. Fumbles, they don't just affect you on offense, they affect your overall team because now your defense has to make that stand up.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And he hits his target. It's Kenny Stills. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 20. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Gone!
On first down, Drake. And he spins past him and into space. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. On the toss, Bernard. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. Andre Howell, the one to bring him down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
Now back to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Wolf. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 18 yards on his first catch of the game. It's a first down. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 48-yard line.
Gone!
They'll drop to throw. Throwing left side, it's complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. A pitch out to Drake. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. That's good for 21 yards and a first down. This is a very impressive drive, especially when you consider where they started from to now be set up 1st and goal.
Yeah, and some nice running right there. That's what got them the first down. But at this point, I suggest open up your playbook. You can call just about what you want.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. Back now with Charles Davis, Brandon Gordon. It's Austin football to begin quarter number 2, and they'll come up looking to keep this drive moving. It's 2nd and goal, back to the 8-yard line now. They'll give it to him up the middle. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. A nice run there as he picks up 6. It's going to be 3rd and goal now.
And, Brad, they went to a nickel defense, and that's a surprise this close to the goal line because ordinarily you use the back end of the end zone, the sidelines as extra defenders, and you want bigger people on the field to try and help against the run.
It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down.
They might think about going for it here, but it's still just the second quarter. Take the 3 points, tell the defense you believe in them, and let them get the ball back for you.
And Gold is able to put it through. And it's 3-0 here in the second quarter. So still no touchdowns in the first half, but we do have some action on the scoreboard with the field goal. So
maybe now the mentality changes in this game because anytime you can get to the red zone, and if you don't come away with 6 points, you feel like it's a disappointment. In a game like this one, being able to kick field goals means you're right there, and then you're just looking for that big break to take you over the top.
On 1st and 10, Watson. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Call it a gain of 5, and it's a 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Trying to improvise. Now he'll let it go, and that's caught inside the 35. And he gets all the way down to the 30-yard line. A huge play there for Houston, and even 40 yards. So the big play has him all the way down to the 30 now for 1st and 10.
Come back.
On 1st down, Watson. And he'll find QT on the right side complete. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. They'll run with Scott. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. And give him 5 that time as they draw a bit closer here for a 2nd and goal. So that run gets him about halfway home.
Yeah, it's now 2nd and goal. The end zone beckons. It looms. They can do whatever they want. Full playbook. Run it again, or they can go play action and try and put it in that way.
On 3rd down, it's Scott. And this will result in him losing yardage back to the 3. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
Now, this feels like old-school football because this has turned into a good old-fashioned goal line stand. So on offense, what do you do now? Do you decide to run it or throw it if you go for it on 4th down?
A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
And here now the offense heading back out there. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
They go play action here on 1st down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pickup there of 22. Now a handoff for Drake. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
Leopard!
On the toss play, this is Drake. The 20. And he Gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. Almost unstoppable on the ground there, as that one is good for 39. 2 minutes to play in a tightly contested first half. Back with more after this. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Here's Bernard. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. He's fumbled already once, Charles. I'm not going to say that that was in his mind there, but I'm sure that during some of these plays he is mindful of it.
And once you fumble the ball, you know what your team tells you and your coaching staff? Take care of it rest of the game. And that does get in your mind a little bit, and sometimes that slows down your effort in trying to get free from tacklers.
And the defenders know it too. They sniff that out, don't they?
Everybody wants to swarm the football. You know what the rule is. First guy hold up the runner. Everyone else try and get there and strip the ball free.
He's able to rattle off 6 on the carry, and that'll get him to 3rd and 4.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Detroit! 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 Detroit!
They'll look to throw. Flush to his right. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line.
Oh, my goodness. Was that a defensive back that got to him with the pressure?
Oh, look at the former defensive back. You're all smiles up here.
I hope everybody can hear my smile on that play.
So we're trading first-half field goals. No breakthrough on the touchdown front. Got a 6-3 game.
Yeah, and I know so many people look at a game through offensive eyes, right? They want to see how the game's played that way. You know how I'm going to view it, right? The defenses, to me, have responded well in this game. Like what I'm seeing from them, both of them hoping to keep it to field goals and not give up big touchdowns.
Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Yeah, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. On 2nd and 10, Watson. And he's going to be grabbed and pulled down. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here, as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. Going to need something special here on 3rd and long after that sack. What does Watson have in his arsenal?
Come back, come back. Come back, come back. Two jet.
A shotgun snap for Watson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Minka Fitzpatrick. And they will take over at the 29-yard line.
Well, Brandon, there's no question who they're going to look to on 3rd and long, but you can bet this defense knows that as well, so they've got him blanketed downfield. And this ball winds up being intercepted.
Detroit! Detroit!
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Gone!
They'll look to throw here. Letting one go deep for the end zone. And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on, third down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
A third field goal of the first half, not what they're looking for as they come up on third down. On third down, Drake. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. Well, now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. As they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number one. The field goal unit's going to stay put on the sideline. They're going to go on fourth down here.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll run. It's Drake. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 16. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. The fourth down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. Back to throw now on first down. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
We got four down. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They're going to look to throw. And he's going to be grabbed and pulled down. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the second down play, they burn the timeout, making him sweat out the final few ticks here in the second quarter. So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. And this will be a 45-yard attempt. And Gold is able to put it through. So we have reached halftime in what's a 6-point game at the break. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken at the 3. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. On first down, it's Watson. Flushed out right. Going deep for Hop. It's caught inside the 25. Watson to Hopkins for a huge hookup. And even 40 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's. And that's exactly what they did there.
And able to get about 3 as he's taken down right at the 20.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secure before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and it'll be 3rd and 10. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Tiger. Two jet.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. As his guys are in for 6. And the Texans are an extra point away from taking the lead. And he's such a talented tight end, just creates nightmarish-type matchups on the other side.
He's so good that when we say tight end, we're almost damning him with faint praise, aren't we? Because he can do it all. He's as good as any receiver in the NFL.
Well, that's the deal. He's a wide receiver, just in a bigger body.
Bigger body, a matchup nightmare, and who's going to cover him? When I sit in the film session, I just look at the coach and say, really? Really? You going to yell at me? You go cover him.
Watch it now, Barney. Detroit.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A really good pickup of 28 yards. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 47. On the give, this is Drake. Past the 20. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. That one good for 33 and a first.
This has been a good drive so far, and it's been the running game for the most part that's powered them down there. Another nice burst there, picking up a 1st down. Now it's 1st and 10, as you said, in the red zone.
Now a toss play to Bernard. And strong running there as he's inside the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
And that's one of the reasons we like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
Back to throw here. And this is incomplete. Trying to get their tight end involved finally. That's the first time that they've looked his way. He's kind of been a forgotten man in this offensive scheme.
Yeah, it didn't look his way at all in the first half. And I'll bet you the offensive coordinator made a note at the half and said, let's get him involved because he could be a big-time playmaker for us.
A field goal would get him the lead, but that's not what they're shooting for as they come up on 3rd down. He'll drop to throw. And it's caught at the 7-yard line. And he's able to pick up the first before he's brought down inside the 5 at the 4. The gain of 5 that time gives him the conversion and makes it 1st and goal. On 1st and goal, Drake. And he gets halfway home from the 4 down to the 2-yard line. Good first step there defensively, but they're still knocking on the doorstep, so maybe another run here?
I think so. And one of my favorite coaches used to say, son, if you can darn...
And he is into the end zone for a touchdown. Kenyon Drake, his 4th touchdown on the year. And his guys are able to strike for 6. Now Sean Payton going to say, let's go for 2 on this one. They'll try and run with Bernard. And he is not going to make it to the goal line. So the defense holds, and this remains a 5-point game. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. And here comes the Texans now. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Come back, come back.
Now a first down throw, Watson. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Charles Harris able to get in and run him down for what will be a loss of 15 yards. Now this one from about 2 counties over after the sack. They come up on a second and very long.
Tiger, tiger, tiger.
From the gun, here's Watson. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down. And at his size, he's a smaller back. He can get into football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make someone miss in the open field.
The Texans send the punter out, standing just outside his own goal line. So out now comes the offense back onto the field. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. It's complete to Drake. And he'll be down deep into Houston territory. And a huge play that time. And even 40 yards.
Now that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
They'll run here with Balazs. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Back now in Austin as we've got the final quarter upon us. We get ready to start the 4th. And before this 2nd down play, we'll get a whistle. A signal and a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter.
Gun, gun! Gun, gun! Detroit! Detroit! Gun, gun! Gun, gun!
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And it's caught. Touchdown. In for the score. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. Sometimes those tight ends are a mismatch. They found the mismatch there.
And that's exactly why you want to draw up those types of plays, because coverage is just going to go to the natural guys, the guys that make the big plays on the outside. But if you work your tight end into it, that's a tough one for a defense to handle.
Tough. They couldn't handle it. They worked out for 6. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. And that's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
A gain of 32 that time.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around.
That is caught. Hopkins for the Texans touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Texans have cut it to within a score. And his kick is right through. A 5-point game now as here comes the kickoff. This one taken just inside the 10. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Now this offense ready to head back out there. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Now a play fake here on first down. And Stills over the middle. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Watch it now, Barney.
Now Drake. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. Looking to throw. That's caught by his big tight end, Mike Gesicki. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
The offense on third down tonight, they've only converted once in 4 tries. Here it's 3rd and 2.
We got three, fellas. We got 3.
A give to Drake running left. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
And they bring this one inside the 35. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. DJ Reader with a great push up front. He picks up the sack and a loss of 8. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Back to throw. He'll rifle rifle this one deep right side. So they took a shot there on third down, couldn't get it. Now it's fourth.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And did he have enough? He did. He kept it on line and managed to tuck it into the bottom right corner. And that'll push the lead up to 8. But from a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a one-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
Black 22! Black 22!
Watson on first down. Being chased out left. Now he's going to go deep, and the defense loses him. It's complete. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the defense will get their hands on it, going the other way. And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line. Well, he did what he's known for. He made the catch, then he turned into a runner, took the contact, and coughed it up.
And all I remember as a player, when they catch the ball, when those acrobatic guys catch it, you have to make them pay sometimes. You have to put it on them, big tackle, knock the ball free. Anything you can do to slow them down.
Wide open receiver complete. And all the way in for the touchdown. A big play there. His second touchdown on the season. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. Great corner route there. Not only able to catch it, turn it upfield, and get into the end zone.
It usually involves a little bit of an extra move, doesn't it? You've got to get them thinking that you're moving to the middle of the field and you're breaking away to that corner. Boy, that was well executed.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over.
And that's caught inside the 35. And he takes it all the way down to the 28-yard line. A big-time play there for the Texans. 47 yards.
Tiger! Come back!
To throw is Watson on first down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. DeAndre Hopkins with his second touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Texans get a bit closer. Extra point was hooking, but he does make it through, as this gets him back within a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. So the lead trimmed down to 8 as here comes the kickoff, and it's away. This one fielded at the 5. Able to spin free, and he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. And now back out comes the offense. After the touchdown we just saw, we have a brand new ball game. And now look at the situation. You got plenty of time on the clock. Defensively, they have 3 timeouts. So do you run the football here or do you throw it?
I think you have that full conversation with your offensive unit, and you tell them, here's the situation. They've got all of their timeouts, so we are not going to play this conservatively. We've got to attack them. We've got to make them use those, gain the ground that we need in order to put this game away. If you think we're just going to run it 3 times and punt it, you got another thing coming.
Yeah, and by the way, also the 2-minute warning in play, so essentially 4 timeouts left.
They have to be aggressive here.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Eluding the pressure right. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and, of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
The offense on third down tonight, they've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. He'll look to throw. And he finds Stills, complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Now a whistle and a timeout defensively. Trying to stop it, and they do with 2 seconds to go prior to the 2-minute warning. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They'll run with Dre. And he'll take this one across the 45 up to about the 46-yard line. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. Have to imagine this will be on the ground as well as they come up 2nd and 7.
Gone! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Right back to Dre. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll set up a throw. Oh, did he hang on to it? He did on the dive. Nice grab. A gain of 11 and a first down.
And that's how you throw for a whole heap of yards in the game. You get efforts like that from your receivers. How about him laying out for that catch?
Yeah, excellent. Makes the quarterback look a whole lot better.
Detroit! Detroit! Gone!
That one looks like he'll throw here. And that is caught. One-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. Touchdown. Mike Gesicki, his first touchdown of the new season. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. Gold with the extra point, and the lead is up to 15 now. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And the Texans set to come onto the field. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back.
And he's going to be wrapped up and driven down. It's hurry-up mode time for the Texans, hustling up to the line.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Back to throw, Watson. Big hold to the 30. And this one complete to Smith. And finally taken down at the 36-yard line.
Come back.
A good pickup there of 20 yards. And passing yardage-wise, now up over 350 in this game. Pretty nice performance.
Definitely that, which usually means you're putting a lot of pressure on guys trying to cover. If you're a defensive back and they put over 350 yards on you, you've got a long...
Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes. Clock now under 30 ticks and running.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Watson. Now a desperation throw deep down, and this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Minkah Fitzpatrick, and he will take this across midfield and down to the 48-yard line. They set themselves behind the chains, tried to get it all back in one play, and it backfired.
Didn't it feel like a pitcher working his way into a 3-0 count, right? You're behind. What do your coaches always tell you? Get it back one pitch at a time. In this case, they tried to get it back right away, and it didn't work out.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Now he'll escape to his left. Now he'll let it, and it's intercepted at the goal line. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And that will write a finish to this ball game. Charles, we saw a lot of points go up in this one. Certainly defensively, stuff that they can look at on film, don't you think?
No doubt about it. And they've got to go back and check where the errors are, how they're going to fix them, and continue to get better at what they do. But they also need a little adjustment with their confidence. To give up that many points, even if you win a game, that can hurt you.
So for Austin, it's a win here in their home opener as they move to 2-0. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for Houston, they'll fall to 1-1. And they will try to get back in the swing of things next week on the road. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.